sad to see. It's devastating.
An emotional morning after a longtime Spokane area restaurant goes up in flames. Tonight, we're talking to the owner of Skyway Cafe as they try to pick up the pieces.
Idaho firefighters are heading down to California to offer any support they can muster against the deadly fires in LA County. Hear from a crew that is ready to help amid the devastation.
Our forecast has a little bit of everything. A little snow tomorrow, but by Saturday, we're talking sunshine.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here tonight. We are learning new information at this hour about yesterday's deadly crash on Highway 2 near Airway Heights. We now know one of the Welpinit teens involved died in the hospital.
KREM 2's Christian Garza went to Welpinit today to bring us more about those involved.
The Welpinit community is mourning the loss of a 16-year-old who died in a crash on US 2 earlier this week. Community members here in Stevens County tell me they're just trying to support each other at a time like this. US Highway 2 was closed for a majority of the morning on Wednesday after a car versus semi crash blocked both directions of the highway near Wood Road. According to Washington State Patrol, a Hyundai Elantra with 3 teenagers failed to stop at a stop sign and drove underneath a semi-trailer. In a press release, WSP has identified that the 18-year-old driver is from Fruitland, while the 2 passengers, 16 and 13, were from Welpinit. After speaking with the Spokane Tribal Enrollment Office, KREM 2 has identified that the driver and one of the passengers are enrolled members of the Spokane tribe, and the teen who died is enrolled with the Coeur d'Alene tribe. While the Welpinit School District didn't want to speak on camera, they released a statement on their website saying that counselors and support staff are available for students as they grieve. Washington State Patrol confirmed that driving conditions were not a factor in this crash. The latest report from officials say the other 2 teens involved in the crash were taken to the hospital with serious injuries and that the driver of the semi was not hurt. Sergeant Rydell with Washington State Patrol tells me that they are still actively investigating this crash. In Welpinit, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
In other big stories tonight, a beloved Spokane restaurant, the Skyway Cafe at Felts Field, has been destroyed after a fire that started around 4 o'clock this morning.
That restaurant's been open for 100 years. KREM 2's Regan Gallo went to the scene to find out the next steps for the Spokane staple. Regan?
The owner of Skyway Cafe, Sandra Melter, told me that the cafe has been in their family for about 60 years. Now, between ownership, staff, and the many customers that stopped by today, they all expressed their sadness and devastation.
A piece of everybody's grandfather, everybody's dad. People that have passed for years. 100 years of people coming here. That's what it is.
We are still waiting to hear from authorities if the fire was an electrical fire or a grease fire. We are told on top of the fire damage, the roof also caved in, which is what construction crews were patching up this morning. An employee told KREM the facility just installed new lighting and the carpets were just cleaned.
I started shaking, crying. It's sad. You know, it's like you're home almost.
But now all the memories, the history, and the memorabilia that decorated the walls are melted away or covered in soot. The restaurant's decor, which entertained guests for decades, is lost.
Losing some of this stuff is like having a museum burned down. You know, they can build another museum, but some of that stuff is irreplaceable.
Irv Schiffler told KREM he has been a supportive customer since the 80s.
You know, always good company. They're always really good, friendly people. It was always on my top 3 list of a place that, come around here.
And just as we were walking through the damage, one customer surprised the owner with a heartfelt gift.
This is what I'm talking about. People bring their thing. It's part of his life. Now it'll be part of mine.
Melter plans to rebuild and anticipates the project will take 2 to 3 months. She expressed her love for Spokane and her desire to continue serving the community. Melter is asking anyone to donate airplane memorabilia to recreate the historic atmosphere within the restaurant. At Felts Field, Regan Gallo,
KREM 2 News.
All right, Regan, thank you very much. Let's take a quick break from the headlines to talk weather. It was a chilly but dry day across the region, but changes are heading our way.
Yes, more snow likely tomorrow, but sun is maybe the silver lining in this forecast. Talking now to our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm more excited about the sun than the snow, which is an odd thing for me. 33 degrees where we currently sit, ever so slightly above freezing, but that little bump in temperatures comes ahead of our next wave of snow. 33 is where we sit, 33 in Deer Park as well, 34 up in Sandpoint, and 32 in Coeur d'Alene. A little bit cooler down in Pullman and Moscow, but here it is. Overnight, it's just a little bit of cloud cover. Snow starts over the Cascades around 6 a.m., moves in for us, but not until about 10 a.m. So I think the snow holds off until after the morning commute. And then it's just kind of on and off showers for eastern Washington throughout the day. North Idaho gets a more steady stream of snow, and for that reason picks up more all said and done. Here in Spokane, less than an inch. Over in Coeur d'Alene, 1 to 2 inches, and I think it's a similar story in Post Falls. So that crossing the state line makes a big difference because the storm is just tracking a little bit farther to the east. We'll talk more about snowfall totals coming up in the full forecast, but for now, here's all you need to know. Snow tomorrow, but it holds off until after the morning commute with a high around freezing. 34 on Saturday with a mix of clouds and sun, but enjoy it while you can. The clouds and the fog return on Sunday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Nearly 200,000 people have been placed on evacuation status after miles and miles of the Los Angeles area burned in the Palisades and Eaton fires. Officials report as of right now, 5 people are dead, more than 1,300 buildings burned, and thousands more are threatened.
Today, many families are returning to find nothing but rubble where their homes used to stand.
I just wanted to see if anything's left. We had everything, like the sentimental things, like my mom passed away. I had only a few things of hers left. My wedding dress, our wedding album, we left everything, our albums, we have just whatever we're wearing. We're wearing the same thing for the last 2 days.
Just one of the many heartbreaking stories coming out of California right now. Residents are distraught, tired, and scared for the future.
And inland Northwest firefighters are stepping up to help. Dozens of firefighters and engines are headed to California right now to join in the fight. Take a look. This is video from this morning, a caravan leaving Shoshone County Fire District 2. We're told more than 100 firefighters and 25 engines have been deployed statewide. In our area, they're coming from Timberlake, Kootenai, and Shoshone counties, Northern Lakes, Worley, and Selkirk. They're set to arrive in Southern California tomorrow to start what could be up to 2 weeks of deployment.
So obviously things in California escalated very, very quickly. They sent out this call for help. What is it like as a small community in Idaho to be able to answer that call?
Well, the best part of it is that we are able to give back to larger states like California that need us right now. They would be here for us and have been in the past when Idaho's been burning as well.
And coming up tonight at 6, we'll also hear more from my interview with Chief Billy Monahan in Kamiah on the type of work they'll be doing there and why our local crew's experience will be especially helpful in California. In Washington, also, the state's Emergency Management Division is working with fire departments across the state to coordinate 9 task forces made up of 45 engines, 11 trucks, and 146 firefighters. The Department of Natural Resources has also deployed 10 engines and 35 firefighters.
We have been tracking the wildfires in LA County since they broke out earlier this week. You can see more of that coverage on our streaming app. KREM 2 Plus is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
As conflicts between humans and bears rise, the Biden administration says it will continue to protect about 2,000 grizzly bears in the Rocky Mountains. The proposal from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service would create a protected area within Washington state, parts of Idaho and Wyoming and Montana.
Rangers operating outside of those borders would be allowed to shoot the bears if they attack livestock or dogs. Grizzlies have been protected in the lower 48 since 1975. The plan, not exactly a hit with Idaho's governor, though. He released a statement saying in part, quote, "The Biden administration continues to think they know Idaho issues better than Idahoans. By not delisting grizzly bears in the lower 48, the USFWS is rejecting the fact that grizzlies have reached and exceeded recovery criteria years ago."
The nation spent the last week saying goodbye to former President Jimmy Carter. Ceremonies coming to a close with a closer look. We'll be back in 2 minutes.